Hello everyone, today we are going to be going over how to compile and use the Pokemon Decomp projects for making your own ROM hacks. Specifically, we're going to be using pokeemerald today, but the process is the same for Red if you are planning on hacking those versions. If you're not aware, the old method of creating Pokemon ROM hacks was binary hacking. How this worked was you took the actual ROM file, the .gba file, the game itself, and we used a bunch of different programs that you can see listed here to edit specific things directly on the ROM. You use this free space finder to find the exact hexadecimal offset of where you're going to add your new images, and then you had to add them through these programs. And it got complicated very quickly, especially when you want to make large-scale changes. But now we have the Pokemon decomps that were created by the Pokemon reverse engineering team, and they allow us to do a lot more with the game. They break the game up into all of its individual files. We have this graphics folder that has all of the graphics in it. You can see all of the Pokemon. If we go into Pokemon, you can see here's the footprint file for a random Pokemon. There are all of the programs, all of the scripts, all of the everything that the game uses, and we can edit it individually and then compile it into a game. That way we're not worrying about fitting everything into the exact spot on the ROM. We don't have to worry about any of that because it's all done dynamically by the compiler. So now that we've covered that, we're going to start to download everything that we need to get this working. I am going to use a new folder that I created here, and we are going to start by just typing in pokeemerald. We are going to go to GitHub because that is where it is stored. Go to install.md, and this is a text tutorial that describes pretty much everything I'm going to go over. So if you like to do things yourself and don't want to listen to me going over this step by step, feel free to just pause the video and skip to the next one and do this. Also, if you're using a Mac, I'm not going to be going over those instructions because I can't record on one because I do not have one. But the following instructions will work on anyone on Windows 10, and they will work on Linux as well because the whole setting up is getting Linux working in Windows. So we're going to start with installing Debian. It's pretty simple. All you need to do is open up a Windows PowerShell terminal, run it as administrator, and we are going to run this command. Basically what it does is it enables Microsoft to be able to run Linux subsystems, which allows us to download and install Debian into our Windows operating system. So now that that's done, you're going to need to restart your computer. I am not going to restart my computer because I have already restarted my computer and installed that, so I shouldn't need to. But next, all you're going to do is just go to the Microsoft Store, type in Debian, and you are going to, well, you would hit install. I have already installed it, so I can just open it, but you would hit install and just install Debian onto your computer. Once you have it running, you can proceed to the next step, which is installing the things that we need to build the game. First, you're going to want to run sudo apt upgrade and sudo apt update. All this does is just make sure that the Debian system is up to date with the current build. Next, we're going to run sudo apt install build essential bin tools arm none eabi git lib png dev. These are just different different programs that we need to build the game. Git is a version control software. For those not aware, sudo just means do with administrator privileges. Apt install is basically just a way to access the package manager and download packages and install them on a Linux system. I am not going to run these commands because I already have, but you just copy them, Control-C, and then you should be able to just right-click and it should paste them. But I'm not going to because I already have. Anyway, so you run both of these commands, and then next we are going to mount the file system. All this does is it just tells Linux where your Windows file system is so that you can access your Windows files from Linux. If you don't do this, you're not going to be able to access anything. So, well, I guess right now it's not going to show. If you see, I'm in my Linux operating system right now, but if I wanted to access Windows, I run this command. I type in the location of my decomps folder, and it automatically mounts the file system. And now if you, well, there's nothing in this folder, but if I go out, you can see this is my my documents in my Windows file system. Okay, so now that we have the file system mounted, we can install the decomp. And it's as simple as, well, downloading it, as simple as just running git clone on this GitHub repository. You just, you know, delete all this stuff at the end, but just the URL, and it'll take, shouldn't take that long to install. While that's going over, if you got the first time you were setting up the Linux system, you probably had to create a username and password, just your regular username and password. You can make a new one for Linux, it doesn't really matter. But also, if this fails, because it's possible it will, there are a couple reasons. I'm going to go over one quickly once this is done. There's one reason that is common, and it has to do with the mounting of the drives. Sometimes if the drive is not mounted correctly, you need to unmount it, which I'm not going to do, and then you need to remount it with a couple conditions. These conditions here on the end, so just retype out this and do it again, and you should be able to download the GitHub repository. If not, take your error, type it into Google, and you should be able to find a solution. If not, well, maybe try dual booting in Linux, that might help, but you're kind of out of luck at that point. Anyway, now that we have gotten the repository downloaded, we can see it's there, we need to download another one. This is a compiler for the decomps. It just takes all of the code inside of the decomp folder and it turns it into the ROM. Now that we are done, we need to go inside of that folder. If you're not aware, CD just means change directory, and it just is how we move in and out of folders in Linux. So we're going to go inside of this directory, then we are going to build the program, which we do by just typing that command in the install tutorial. If you're not aware, // is just the Linux way of running a file in the command line, and .sh is just the file extension for shellcode. So it's just a building executable that we run to build the program. And then next we are going to have to actually install it into the pokeemerald directory that we got here. Now you can see it in Windows since they're connected. In relation to cd, this ... means go back a directory. So if we type cd ... you go back into the previous directory. Oops. Okay, so that should be finishing soon. We are almost done with this. Once this is finished, we can actually build a ROM. It's pretty simple to build the ROM once it's done. All you have to do is navigate into the pokeemerald directory, and you just type make and hit enter. Technically, the first time we're going to type make compare. So here we're going to navigate cd ... and then we're going to go, oh, actually, we did not. It's a very important step. We need to install it into the folder. It's not working. Okay. It is successfully installed. Okay, so now we can go into our folder. This is our pokeemerald directory, and we're going to type make compare. And this is going to compare it with it's gonna build our emerald file, and then it's going to compare that emerald file. It's going to hash it, and then it's going to compare it with a pre-computed hash of a known emerald file, and it's going to make sure they're the same, just so that we know that for sure this made the proper emerald file. No one edited these programs, no one put anything in it, and we only do this the first time we run it. After that, you can just type make normally, but it's actually, most of the time, you are going to be typing make-j. So that being said, I am going to pause the video. Okay, so now our ROM is downloaded. We can check it out in the folder. We see our pokeemerald.gba file. That means we have a working ROM. Okay, we can go to our favorite GBA emulator. If you don't already have one, I recommend MGBA, but any one that you have is fine. And we just go and we load our emerald file. I'm gonna fast forward just because this takes forever. But we are going to see that this is a working Pokemon Emerald. We're not going to go through any further, but that is all that it takes to install pokeemerald decomps. This is the first step in many if you are planning on creating ROM hacks. Just getting the basic vanilla emerald working. If you can get this taken care of, there is a lot that you can do in ROM hacking without even that high level of computer knowledge. There are some tools that let you do a lot, and there are some base upgrades that a bunch of ROM hackers have made to help the hacking community go faster and without having to reinvent the wheel, basically. There's the pokeemerald expansion that we're going to be going over in our next optional video, and it, adds a lot of things like the physical special split to the battle engine and Pokemon outside of the gens of Gen 3, and things that would be a pain to implement yourself, but people have done for us so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. Anyway, that's all we're going to cover for today. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions about things that you want covered in terms of decomp hacking or any other type of ROM hacking, make sure to leave a comment, and we will try to cover it if we can.